Please take your seats. Let's all get situated because we have a lot more learning to do and a lot more fun to be had. Some people were asking me, what are you drinking? No, this is not booze, but every morning I like to make myself a little elixir. Some herbs over here, plant, animal, fungal. I mix them together and it harmonizes. You know what I'm saying? I'm into that. So yes, if you want to sip, want to taste, just let me know. I'll pour you a little bit. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Yee-yee. Da-da-da. Ba-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Scooby-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. All right, our keynote number 4. Are we ready? Hear ye, hear ye. Is everybody here? Everybody here. Are my pants still flexible? Yes, they are. Yes, yeah, they are. Okay. Yes, good thing we had that break. And also, grateful that I was born with a 5-gallon bladder. Love to hydrate. Was drinking all day. Drinking that basa, drinking that elixir. Okay. Our keynote, number 4, will be about the new way of creation. Computer-generated imaging, a.k.a. CGI. That's all that crazy 3D stuff that we see in movies, in life. I'd like to invite to the stage someone who I met last night. Wonderful person, like very charismatic, very sweet, very funny and witty as well. But, you know, this soul, as wonderful as he is, also is extremely innovative and revolutionary, and definitely revolutionized the game. For he was the first person to ever create a completely digital model. Now a very famous and world-renowned digital model known as Shudu. Some of you might know. So he is the CEO and founder of The Digitals and creator of Shudu, and is doing some incredible work. I would love to invite to the stage Mr. Cameron James Wilson! CJW in the house! Give it up, just around! Yeah. Tell us about how you changed the game and the future and everything.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Cameron James Wilson, CEO of the world's first all-digital modeling agency, and creator of the world's first digital supermodel, Shudugram. So, a lot of people may not know what a digital model is. Like, who have I created? And hopefully, I can give you a little introduction to who Shudu is. So, that was Shudu. 3 years ago, I took a step back from fashion photography to find a completely new career. All that I knew was that I didn't want to be a fashion photographer anymore, which made me feel terribly guilty because I had a career that many people would wish for. But I hated it, and it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't fulfilling me creatively. The industry had changed so much, and I knew that I wanted to leave, and I knew that I wanted to do something else. Really, really creative. So I set about to create characters, and one of them was a character called Shudu. So at the time that I created Shudu, I really had no idea about what I was kind of doing. I knew that I was creating 3D characters. I had no idea what they would be used for. And I created Shudu, I created an image of her, posted it online, and it went viral. So to me, all I had done was to create a beautiful image, and this image got shared probably millions of times by now. And it was posted by some of the people and women who inspired me to create Shudu. Alicia Keys, Naomi Campbell, And it was just an incredible experience. So the first time that I had truly taken control of my life, the first time that I was truly creating something that I was proud of, and it went viral. So it told me that I was on the right track. Shudu is a completely 3D model who has somehow gained a lot of popularity online. She has modeled for magazines like Vogue and WWD, and worked on campaigns for brands like Balmain. So you can see on the left here is the first image that I ever created of Shudu, the one that kick-started it all. And then we have the image on the right, which is probably one of the most popular pictures that she's ever done, which was reposted by Fenty. So at the time that that picture was posted, Fenty didn't know that she was a 3D model. But I tagged all of the brands on there, and they reposted her, which was, again, incredible to see that people couldn't tell the difference between what was real and what was fantasy. And I think something that could only happen today because of how we view social media and kind of what our expectations of reality are. One of the first collaborations that Shudu worked on was with a brand called SoulSky. It was just a t-shirt brand, and I had this crazy idea because at the time people didn't know whether or not Shudu was real. I kept it very ambiguous. I had this crazy idea to reach out to a brand, have them send a t-shirt to Shudu and send images back without them ever knowing that she was a 3D model. And unfortunately, it was very successful. They sent me a t-shirt, I digitized it, I put it on Shudu, I sent the images back to SoulSky, and they had no idea that a 3D model was wearing their clothing. They had no idea that that t-shirt they were looking at was not the t-shirt they sent, but in fact a 3D copy. So this kind of scared me a little bit. I thought, wow, where is technology going? You know, if people can't tell the difference between their own brand, their own clothing and 3D, people need to be more aware of this. So this was the turning point of where I decided to come out as Shudu. So Harper's Bazaar reached out to me. They asked me very upfront, who is Shudu? Is she real? And I told them straight up, no, she's not real. She is a 3D model. And that created a lot of discussion. You know, people were finding this out for the first time. Their minds were blown. But it was important to me to be very open and transparent about who Shudu is, because I believe that people have the right to know that this technology exists. And I don't think that there's anything wrong that it exists as long as we're aware and educated about the fact that it is there. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is, how will digital models affect beauty ideals? As we all know, social media has kind of really impacted how we view ourselves and how we view beauty. And a lot of people have concerns that these digital models can impact this further and have a negative impact. So I set out to kind of show that this technology can be used to create models that are extremely diverse and not just models like Shudu. I created a model called Bren, who is more curvy. You know, she has stretch marks, she has natural imperfections, and people really, really responded well to this. To see that these 3D models aren't just about 6-foot-tall glamazons. You know, we can create real imperfections and things like that. And people gave Bren a very, very strong narrative. When they saw her stretch marks, they wrote in and asked, has she had kids? You know, how many kids does she have? Like, what's the story? And they really connected to her because of those natural imperfections. And that, again, reinforced with me that these things are important in telling stories. You know, if you give someone fine lines, you know, wrinkles or stretch marks, it's telling a story. With my time in fashion photography, I was taught very, very strongly that these things are negatives. And now with 3D, I'm finding that they are positives. And that's really, really changed my outlook on beauty, my personal own outlook. Some of my inspirations include, for Shudu, include models growing up. So for Shudu, I was very much inspired by supermodels like Alec Weck and Naomi Campbell. in Iman. But I wanted to create a character that was inspired by some of my favorite actresses. I don't know if you can guess, but Danny is inspired by Michelle Pfeiffer and Sissy Spacek. So yeah, creating characters that really resonate with my own past and some of the inspirations that I have. Kofi. So if Shudu is the Barbie of the kind of 3D world, the kind of Eve, Kofi is the Adam, or the Ken. And he is an incredibly successful creation that I think a lot of people like for very obvious reasons. But Kofi is an incredible model that I've also created. Galaxia. So I wanted to explore the boundaries of where we could push things. You know, does a fashion brand want to work with an alien supermodel? I don't know, but I created one anyway. I'm very much inspired by sci-fi movies, so Galaxia was kind of a natural decision for me to make. But not only do I create models for myself, I also create models for other brands. And one of the most notable campaigns that I've worked on is a campaign for Balmain. For Balmain, I created 2 exclusive models for them, Margot and Z, and they modeled in a campaign alongside Shudu, a campaign that was fully digital, a campaign that had 0 waste, a campaign that was put together entirely on a computer. But a campaign that was extremely successful and showed where the future of fashion may go. I've also digitized real models. So back when I created Shudu, I wasn't in a position where I could easily travel. I'd just given up my career as a photographer. I didn't have any money to kind of travel to Australia to meet the amazing Ajur, who I met through Shudu. And very, very fortunately, I had the power of 3D that I could utilize. I could bring Shudu and Ajur together just by using my computer at home. So I digitized Ajur, and I added her to a picture with Shudu. Again, using this technology to cross boundaries and showcase models that might not be able to travel. So what do virtual models wear? This is some imagery from one of my friends at the Fabricant. Probably a lot of you aren't aware that there is a huge revolution about to happen within the fashion industry. 3D is becoming more and more part of fashion design and production workflows within fashion. And this is incredibly important because it changes everything when it comes to sustainability and the pipelines and how fast things are created. So this isn't just about virtual models. This is about creating a brand new industry and world for fashion. One of the first dresses that Shudu wore was actually one that I made myself using a program called Marvelous Designer. I started with an initial inspiration, and I don't have a fashion design background, but I was able to make this incredibly beautiful dress myself in a matter of hours, where it would usually take, I don't know, probably days or weeks to create something like this. I was able to create it very, very quickly, and with 0 waste. I wasn't making patterns and throwing fabric away or creating lots of different versions of this dress. It was all done digitally, and if I wanted this dress made, I could have it made without having wasted anything. Again, one of the first campaigns editorials that we worked with Shudu was for WWD, and here you can see just how closely some of the garments represent some of the real-life garments. So this is a technology that is incredibly powerful and useful. So one of the biggest concerns is, will these virtual characters replace real ones? And I personally don't believe that they will. I believe that these virtual characters are going to benefit real people, benefit real business, but not really take anything away. I don't think it's a if or you have to choose between the two. I think you can work with both. And we utilize real models within some of the imagery that we use. Sometimes fashion brands don't have access to 3D garments, so we shoot them on real models, and then we put Shudu over the top. So again, we're kind of still working with real models, still working with real people, just in a different way. And sometimes, I'm sure a few people have experienced this, you can work with one brand, and that one brand will have many conflict brands. That means you can't then work for any of the other brands. If you are modeling for one brand under Shudu, but then another brand under as yourself, you no longer have to worry about conflict brands and what jobs you take on or decide not to. Again, another campaign we worked on is LS, and this campaign was extremely successful because the stand-in model, Misty, who was the muse for the shoot, so she posed with the clothes on, actually became a part of the main campaign. The brand loved her, they loved her energy, and they made her a part of the main campaign. So again, showcasing that this technology is also able to create opportunities for models. Can other people use this technology? So what's going to happen to makeup artists, hairstylists, and things like that? We can work with those people too. All you need to do is produce a face chart, and we can use that as the inspiration to do Shudu's makeup. Again, this is opening up to people who might not necessarily be the best makeup artist, but they're a great illustrator, they're a great artist. All you have to do is supply a face chart, and you can do the makeup of a digital supermodel. One of the kind of drawbacks of digital models is that they aren't real, so they can't interact very easily with the physical world. However, we worked on a campaign for BAFTA where we created a hologram of Shudu, and she was the first virtual character to walk the red carpet, which was extremely exciting for me, seeing my characters brought to life. Here she is as a hologram. I'm going to show you a quick video which is going to explain it a lot better. There was an AI app involved, and you'll get to see some of the facts and figures that this generated from this campaign.
As headline sponsors of one of the world's most prestigious film awards, how could EE, the UK's largest phone network, showcase the power of 5G live at the BAFTAs? Our research identified celebrity fashion dominating the conversation, with 33% of fans wanting to buy what they saw. But with the average outfit costing upwards of £12,000, red carpet fashion is out of reach for most. So we turned to cutting-edge technology to give fans what they wanted, and brought a new face to the BAFTA fashion conversation. Combining 5G and AI, we transformed the world's first CGI supermodel into the world's first 5G AI stylist, complete with a bespoke BAFTA gown designed by Swarovski. Her goal? Present celebrity style at affordable prices, connecting consumers with affordable celebrity fashion in a swipe. Built in Unreal 4 and with the power of 5G, our stylist could respond in real time with reaction speeds of 15 milliseconds. While typical media were confined to the press area, we used holographic technology to blur the boundaries between CGI and reality, enabling our AI stylist to interact with the stars live on the red carpet. With access to multiple cameras, she captured over 50 star outfits, shared to her followers via Instagram stories. With a simple swipe, fans had direct one-to-one access with Shudu, who with the power of AI at her fingertips, could scan stars' outfits to detect and learn everything from cut, shape, colour and fabric patterns, enabling her to search thousands of retailers to find you the perfect celebrity-inspired match, ready to buy within minutes of a star stepping onto the carpet. During the event, over 100,000 fans shopped the look, amassing 111 days worth of chat and generating affordable fashion sales worth £400,000, reaching over 13 million fans, gaining mainstream press coverage and helping you shop affordable fashion. All thanks to 5G from EE.
There we go. There was our campaign for EE and BAFTA. Very, very successful, brought tons of tech together, and created, as you saw there, days worth of chat and hundreds of thousands of pounds in sales. We utilized technology like motion capture and hologram, and even chatbots and AI within this campaign, showing the power and potential of digital models and what they can actually achieve if you really, really put your kind of mind to it. We've worked on campaigns for Smart, where we've digitized Bren and put her in and dropped her into the campaign without her ever being there. And again, so why would you work with a virtual model over a real person? At the moment, there is a ton of media to be had when it comes to 3D and the virtual world. You could very easily create the world's first something or do the world's first thing very, very easily and generate a ton of PR. So the digital models are great at that. bringing about discussions. Something that I've had to tackle as well is how can something fake be authentic? We kind of talk about faking culture and kind of on Instagram, you know, digital models are fake. How can they be more authentic than some of the influencers that you see? Well, it's all about being transparent and giving them an authentic voice. And that voice comes from me. So if I can be open, honest, and transparent as a person, as a company, you can actually create a digital model that is more authentic as some influencers, because you're letting people know that it's 100% not real. You're letting people in on the kind of secret. We also have taken on a writer called Amma Badu, who is going to be giving an authentic voice to Shudu, answering interviews as her, and writing her story, which is incredibly important to have that voice, to have an authentic voice behind Shudu. The future, where is this going to go, and what does this mean for some of the people in this room? Well, imagine if you didn't have to go to work, you could digitize yourself, and you could actually allow a third party to manage your media. I've spoken to many influencers who are burnt out in generating content, and they want me to create a 3D version of them who actually can just post to social media and maintain their following without actually having to do it themselves. So if you digitize yourself, you can generate a lot of this income and stuff passively without having to do so much yourself. So the potential of this technology is incredible. Hopefully I've managed to inspire some kind of thoughts, and if you have any questions, you can find me outside if you want to ask me anything, but I think that kind of wraps it up. So thank you very much.
CJW, Cameron, my man, killed it, beautiful, good work. Thanks again, Cameron, for turning the game upside down and shaking it around. Yes. Changing the game completely. For our next keynote, our 5th keynote speaker, I'd like to bring to a stage a man who is a digital strategist, a brand and influencer consultant. And let me tell you what he's done. Done a lot of things. He's done a lot of things in life. But very accomplished, might I add. Here we go. Shane Barker is an accomplished digital marketing consultant. He's done everything from working with celebrities on digital reputation management, and he also obtained the #1 national ranking with ProScore as a social media consultant. Let's put our hands together for Shane. Bring it in, Shane. Woo! Teach us how to obtain the #1 spot. Teach us everything.
How are you?
Masa. Very well. Thank you.
How's it going? Awesome. How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me okay on the mic? Awesome. I tell you, it's kind of hard to take the stage after that, right? We just talked about computer-generated influencers, right? You guys are like, do I still have a job? You know, it's like, wait a second, this is kind of freaky stuff. So as we've talked about, my name is Shane Barker. I wanted to take a poll of everybody in the audience. How many of you are influencers by raise of hands? So how many of you guys are influencer, have some kind of community? There has to be more of you. If you're an influencer, you're supposed to be like, it's me. All right, so what about brands? How many brands are out there? Got some brands out there, hotels, I'm sure. What about agencies? How many agencies are out there that work with influencers or at least do something in the digital space? Awesome. Well, today what I'm going to talk about is the past, the present, and then also the future of influencer marketing. And as they've already kind of said, I'm a digital strategist, and I work with brands and with influencers. And my day job, really, I've been in the influencer space for about 7 or 8 years now. I do a lot of other things, content marketing, SEO, website conversion stuff. I also work with Fortune 500 companies all over the world. I also work with influencers that have digital products. And then also a number of A-list celebrities. I've helped them what we call online reputation management. That's where if somebody has something bad that somebody puts online, I educate them on how to get that off of the search engines. So this is my night job. Is I'm also an instructor. I did the first course. I created the first personal branding and how to be an influencer course at UCLA in Los Angeles. So I'm actually from Sacramento, California, and I would fly down to Los Angeles once a week and do a course from Tuesday from 6:30 to 9:30. And so how many of you actually read my content or heard of me? This is a very humbling thing for me. There's going to be like maybe 2 people that raise their hand or maybe nobody. So we have a handful of people. All right, there we go. I see you, UK. Okay. Anybody else out there? Okay, so let me give you guys a little backstory on myself, just so kind of you know who I am and kind of what I've done in this space. So where I've been mentioned, obviously heavy in the U.S., I was one of the first speakers at the Mexico City Influencer Conference. I do a lot of keynote speeches in regards to this. Did a big one in Sri Lanka about 7 months ago, which was awesome. Had a great amount of events. We went there, did a lot of traveling, went to be able to see the country. But I've been mentioned in New York Post, Forbes, Mexico, USA Today, Entrepreneur, Vice, ABC News. I was also mentioned as one of the 100 most influential people in the influencer industry, along with Kim Kardashian, that you might have heard of, whether you like her or don't like her, who knows. Richard Edelman, who's big for Edelman PR, and then Gary Vee, who's also a big U.S. Influencer as well. So what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about influencer marketing for the past, right? We're going to talk about the present and the future. So when we talk about influencer marketing in the past, really there was a big play in the sense of that there was like celebrities, athletes, and musicians were who most brands and agencies worked with, right? Because they obviously they either made music or they did something on TV, or they were in a space where people would see them, right? They're influential in some type of a media, something that there was a lot of eyeballs on them. So now what's awesome is that really anybody can be an influencer, and I'm going to touch on that in the middle of the presentation. So it's kind of cool. You don't have to be a celebrity or an athlete or even a musician to be able to be an influencer. But this is a campaign that a lot of people know about, the Beats by Dre campaign that started in 2008. Well, this obviously, what Dr. Dre did was he partnered with athletes, singers, and actors, right? So these are all very influential people. And what he did is he handed out his headphones, and he would give them to certain stars and actors and stuff and say, hey, would you wear these? And you'd see them on athletes. So the athletes would come off of the bus, and they would have the Beats by Dre. And, of course, everybody likes these certain athletes or actors and say, oh, my gosh, I see, I have Kylie Minogue that's wearing my headphones, and obviously now I want to go buy them because she's influential. She's an awesome singer. So that was the past. That was in 2008. Beats by Dre, their main campaign was influencer marketing. It was the influence that they had over people to be able to wear their product. And I think you guys might know that Beats by Dre sold to Apple for $3 billion. That's with a B, right? So that's a lot of money. So once again, their main platform for marketing was influencer marketing because they used the influence that Dr. Dre had and that the other individuals at the company to be able to hand out free product, and people wore those headsets and wore those earphones for the mass public to see. So influencer marketing today, this is where things get interesting. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be an athlete, right? You can be a reality star. You can be a blogger. You can be a vlogger. You can be an activist. You can be a journalist. You can be a thought leader. You can be a micro-influencer, a nano-influencer, and I'll go into that, kind of what that is, or you can be a social media star. So micro-influencers and nano-influencers are going to be people that have a smaller following, right? So they don't have 1 million followers. You don't have to have 1 million followers to be an influencer these days. And I think that makes things, it evens the playing field and makes things very interesting because most people, when I started doing influencer marketing about 7 or 8 years ago, what happened is that everybody says, oh, I have to work with this person because they have 1 million followers, right? That was the big thing. Like, if they have 1 million followers, then I'm guaranteed to get sales. And so we've realized over the years that that's not always the deal, right? Really, it comes down to 7 years ago, you would just post something. You'd go like this. You go, hey, I have this amazing water, and everybody, go buy it. And then everybody, in theory, would go buy it, right? It's a lot different these days. Now we actually have to build a campaign around that. You have to do probably 7 or 8 or 9 posts. You have to put a campaign together. And so that's where things become interesting because things have evolved. So I'll give you guys an example, like how I jumped into the influencer space was Zoe Rodriguez. So Zoe Rodriguez reached out to me about 7 years ago and said, hey, I need help with growing my business. And she was, at that time, we didn't really call her an influencer, but she was somebody that had a good social media following. She had about 178,000 followers on Instagram. And she said, hey, Shane, I want to promote my fitness brand, my products, right? And I'll be honest, when she reached out to me, I really wasn't that excited about it. Because I'm like, selling fitness products on Instagram just sounds like, I didn't think anything was going to happen there. So I did a call with her, and I said, hey, Zoe, kind of tell me about the products that you have. And she had 3 products. Now, mind you, she was fitness. So her best-selling product was called Build a Better Booty. Do I need to explain that to anybody what that means? Right? Get it? Okay, build a better booty, right? Small booty to big booty. You got it? Okay, good. So what happened there was I said, okay, well, Zoe, tell me about your Build a Better Booty program. Like, how many have you sold? And she says, God, Shane, sales have been really terrible. I've only sold 10,000 of them. I'm like, 10,000 times $20, that's $200,000. I'm like, that's pretty healthy. I'm like, okay, so what about your sexy arms? And she goes, yeah, that one was even worse. I only sold 5,000 of those. 5,000 times 20, so it's another $100,000. And she goes, yeah, my sexy legs. I said, well, how many of the sexy legs? She goes, God, only 5,000 times $20. So Zoe is making $400,000. She's one person. She's a one-person team. she had freelancers and stuff she worked with. She was making $400,000, $30,000 a month off selling fitness ebooks. Now, needless to say, on this call, I'm like, man, I can't believe this. I cannot believe she's making $400,000, right? And she's able to sell these ebooks. So because we only have 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you guys what we did for Zoe's. We actually increased Zoe's sales from $400,000 to $1.6 million. So we made Zoe a millionaire within 1 year's time. So what we did is we revamped her logo, revamped her website, we did better call to actions, we revamped all of her ebooks, did everything. And we spent about $300,000 on influencer marketing. Now, when I say that, we didn't go through the typical channels of Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and stuff like this. What we actually did is we actually went through PayPal. So this was kind of back in the day a little bit, right? We were actually paying through PayPal. There wasn't tons of software like there is today. Now you have Hyper Auditor. You have all kinds of great software that you can go and take a look at, demographics and look at things to make sure you're making an educated decision as a brand or an agency. So we were able to turn, for every dollar that we spent, we were able to turn it into $4, and then our average transaction value, we were able to increase from $20 to $35. Let me explain how we did that. So what we realized is that Zoe had a very female-centric audience, and so what we would do is, if the girls were going to go and buy a product for $20, what we realized is because it's a PDF, right? So you have to realize a PDF isn't a physical product, right? It's like a CGI influencer, right? It's kind of like that. So a PDF is, so we realized if we had 5 products that we could sell for $100, what we would do is instead of selling 5 for $100, which is $20 a piece, we would say, hey, we'll give you a deal right now. We'll go ahead and give you 50% off of all 5 products if you buy them right now. And so we increase the average value when somebody's buying 1 ebook, now they're buying 5 ebooks. And so that's how one of the ways that we increased her sales from the $400,000 to $1.6 million. So we bundled it up and gave it a deep discount because we knew that if somebody was going to buy it for $20, that they'd probably buy it for $50 because they're getting this huge discount. So, we tried SEO. So I'm an SEO expert. Like, that's really what my background is like getting people #1 for certain keywords. We tried SEO, none of it worked. PPC, none of it worked because we weren't able to put the ads out on Facebook and Instagram because it was fitness-based. And nothing worked like influencer marketing. Influencer marketing was the key to this whole thing. So what worked for Zoe? What was the thing that we made that we were able to push these sales from $400,000 to $1.6 million? Really, it was other influencers that we worked with, right, that was spending the $300,000 on influencer marketing, and it was the before and after pictures. And you have no idea how hard it is to find before and after pictures that don't involve underwear, like for this audience. Literally, every other girls were like, hey, look at this, and it's like G-strings. And so I had to go through thousands of pictures to find pictures that are appropriate for the audience. So this is what it was. And these are real pictures. I know when you look at them, you think, oh, this has got to be Photoshop. What we would do is we would have the girls take the pictures really in the same background, potentially with the same clothes if possible, and then you'd be able to see the before and after. And so with these types of pictures, girls would say, hey, usually around the first of the year, right? It's New Year, right? When you get into New Year's, New Year, new me, right? That kind of thing. And then also in September was another big time. And then also right before summer was another big time for us. So the before and after pictures working with influencers was big for us. Okay, so you go, Shane, we've talked about the past. We've talked about the present. So what about the future of influencer marketing? What is that? What do you think that's going to entail? Well, my friends over at Media Kicks went ahead and put together a forecasting. The influencer marketing is going to get to anywhere from $5 billion to $10 billion in 2020. That's next year, right? So especially when you have, this doesn't take in consideration when you talk about CGI. Cameron, who was talking about CGI, that's going to be a whole level to this thing. This actually came out just about a year ago. This is before CGI, I think, really started to take off in the last probably year and a half. So anyways, we're looking at a market share of, like I said, $5 to $10 billion. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. So what are some of my predictions for the future? Well, there's going to be, I think, a bigger emphasis on micro-influencers. So when people put campaigns together, they're not going to put all of their eggs in one basket with one influencer. They're going to work with what we call micro-influencers. They're going to work with a pool of influencers, right? Where they're going to say, hey, what we're going to do is diversify our spend. We're going to say, instead of working with one person, we're going to work with 20 people. And let's see who moves the needle, right? Because that's the big thing. You want to know, hey, if I'm spending $100,000 and I'm hiring 20 influencers, I want to know the 5 influencers that are getting me the sales. The other 15 I don't care about, right? So if you don't know that, if you don't know the ROI of your campaigns, then how are you going to know whether it was successful or not? There's also going to be an increase of in-house influencer programs. I think, that's what I work on heavy is I have a thing for influencers called howtobeaninfluencer.com where I educate influencers on how to be influencers. And then I also teach a thing where we go in and do workshops for brands and agencies. And then I think more people are going to want to take that in-house where I can come and train them and tell them, hey, listen, this is how you guys are going to find the influencers. This is how you negotiate with them. Make sure it's a win-win campaign for everybody. And then also the rise of CGI influencers. Like, I didn't know Cameron was right before me, but obviously you guys see what's going to be happening in regards to influencers that are computer generated, and the possibility of that, I think, is, in the fashion industry, is super epic, and I think it's going to be exciting. Outside of that, it's kind of a little freaky. I mean, it's kind of crazy that you have computer generated influencers and people are following them, but it's kind of cool stuff. So how many of you, I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to take a quick little poll here. So with the Fry Festival, I'm going to do a little, raise your hands. How many of you think that was a failure? How many of you think that was like terrible? Have you guys heard about the news of Fry Festival and influencers? Okay. How many of you think it was a success? Right, we got a few hands. So let me tell you something, because I know that I get a lot of pushback from brands. The first thing they'll tell me is like, I want to hire an influencer, but did you hear what happened at the Fry Festival, Shane? And I'm going to say, you know what? I did, and I can tell you something. The Fry Festival was a success in the sense that influencers, they pushed the needle. There was sales that happened. The problem with the Fry Festival was logistics and the people running it, right? So at the end of the day, you have to realize that if anybody comes to you and says, hey, I know you're an influencer, and I'm a little worried about the Fry Festival thing, you tell them, hey, listen, it was a success. There were people that bought $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 tickets. Now, logistically, when you're going to an island, it's a little bit of a different deal. I wouldn't try to throw a party like that in a few months. But my point of telling you this is that it was a success in the sense that influencers did a phenomenal job. And I want you guys, don't worry, influencer marketing is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. In fact, it's only going to evolve. It's only going to get better. And it's only going to get a lot more fun. It's going to be a lot more interesting over time. So we don't have a lot of time for questions today because, like I said, we've got 15-minute segments. But you guys want to come afterwards and come talk with me afterwards, you guys can do that. And also, here goes my information. This is my personal email. So if you guys ever have any questions, you're a brand or an agency that we're looking for some direction, or if you're an influencer that wants to be able to monetize your profiles, here goes my information. And I also have a free ebook as well if you go to shanebarker.com/influencer-ebook. And I also have a new ebook that I just came out with for hotels as well. If you're a hotel and you're looking to, once again, to be able to work with influencers, make sure it's a win-win. And once again, you guys, thank you so much for your time.
Woo! Thank you, Shane. Amen. Wonderful, actionable stuff we can all utilize. Don't make me try to start a booty building program right now. You know, I hit it with a deep squat. I hit you with a little, let's see if I still got this. Hit it with a little single leg squat. Oh, okay. Let me see you do that. Let me see. Okay, for our next panel, we have good peeps here. Yes. The influencer marketing omni-channel power. I'd like to bring to the stage Irmak Emektaş. He's a vertical strategy lead at Facebook. And you know what? He gonna talk about some nice things. Let's put our hands together for Irmak! Woo! I lost your stuff. Hey, he's gonna express himself. Look at that. Look at that pic. Sit wherever you want. That's right. That's right. And next, I'd like to bring to the stage the global brand manager at Magnum Ice Cream, because she's so sweet. That's how she got picked for that job, because she's so confectionery like that. Miss Tuğçe Aksoy! Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Tell us, make him melt. Magnum Ice Cream, make him. That's right, global, big time. And the co-founder at Good Ad Lab. We will have the moderator of this panel, incredible man, just beautiful eyes. Like, you won't stop being able to gaze into those eyes. I can promise you that. I would like to bring to the stage Mr. Neşet Dereli. Mr. Neşet is also Neşeli, which means he's so happy, joyful, and smiley. Oh, man. Yeah. Take it away. Woo.
Evet. Öncelikle Türkçe yapıyoruz burada hepimiz, şu andaki konuklarımız Türk olduğu için. Hoş geldiniz diyoruz. Çok
Hoş
güzel
bulduk.
bir organizasyon. Bize de bu fırsat tanıdığınız için organizasyonu düzenleyen arkadaşlarımıza da çok teşekkür edelim. Hızlıca konuya girmek istiyorum. Ben bu noktada Tuğçe Hanım'dan başlayayım. Öncelikle şunu söyleyeyim, az önce de size ifade ettiğim gibi gurur duydum. Çok güzel bir pozisyon, global bir markada böyle bir pozisyona sahip olmanız.
Teşekkür ederim.
Çok da memnun oldum sizinle tanıştığıma. Şimdi Magnum gerçekten iletişime çok hakim. Birçok kanalda, birçok mecrayı da çok iyi kullanan bir marka. Influencer marketing tarafında sizin Omni-channel stratejilerinizde nasıl bir yol izliyorsunuz ve ne olarak kullanmayı tercih ediyorsunuz? Influencer marketing tarafını nasıl kullanma stratejileriniz var, onu merak ediyoruz.
Influencer marketing bizim için gitgide daha önemli bir rol alıyor. Çünkü biz Magnum'da bir hikaye anlatmaya çalışıyoruz. Hikayeyi de en iyi aslında gerçek, samimi insanlar anlatabiliyor. Hikaye kısaca şu, bilmeyenler için. Magnum aslında kendiniz için yarattığınız bir haz anı. Ve biz bunu çok önemsiyoruz. Dondurmanın ötesinde insanların hayatta gerçekten haz aldıkları, tutku duydukları şeylerin peşinden koşmalarını önemsiyoruz. Fakat bu konuda bir sürü araştırma yaptık. Geçtiğimiz sene gördük ki İngiltere'de aslında insanların %50'si kendilerine haz veren şeyleri yapmaktan kaçınıyorlar. Sebebi de aslında başkalarının ne düşündüklerine takılmaları ya da bir şekilde başka engeller hissetmeleri. Biz de aslında bu insanlara ilham vermek ve kendi potansiyellerini gerçekleştirmek istiyoruz. Bunu tabii ki reklam kampanyalarımızda bir hikaye anlatıyoruz ama o pasif ve tek bir hikaye. Fakat influencerlarla topluma etki yaratacak rol modelleriyle çalıştığımızda aslında bu hikayeleri insanların özdeşleşebileceği şekilde çoğaltıyoruz. Özellikle moda, film, sanat, müzik alanında istediği şeylerin peşinden gitmiş, asla vazgeçmemiş, o hazzının peşinden koşmuş ya da İngilizce true to pleasure dediğimiz insanlarla çalışıyoruz. Ve bu her kampanya için bizim için reklam ve aslında influencer ortaklıkları birbirinin tamamlayıcı. Hatta influencer ortaklıkları daha bile insanların hayatında etki yaratıcı kısmı oluyor.
Güzel, yani burada tabii gerçeklik vurgusu yaptınız, o çok
Evet.
önemli herhalde. Hani reklamda bu reklammış diye izlediğinde zihinlerde bir bariyer oluşuyor ama
Evet.
influencerları kullandığınızda gerçek hayatlardan bahsediyoruz burada ve hepimizin gözü önünde o hayatı sürdürüyorlar. Herhalde o anlamda o gerçekliği
Evet.
tanımlıyorsunuz, değil mi?
Evet, tabii biz onlara hikayemizi anlatıyoruz. Ne anlatmak istiyoruz, ne mesaj vermek istiyoruz. Diyoruz ki biz insanların hazlarının peşinden gitmesini istiyoruz. Hayatında kendi istediklerini yapmalarını, kendilerine dürüst olmalarını istiyoruz. Otantik olmalarını istiyoruz. Ve daha sonra onlar bizim aklımıza bile gelmeyen fikirlerle bir şekilde bunu hayata geçiriyorlar. Dolayısıyla çok çok daha güçlü bir halde yansıtmış oluyoruz.
Genelde bu da ilginç, hemen ek bir soru sorayım. Farklı fikirlerle geliyorlar dediniz.
Evet.
O anlamda hani onların üretebilmesi, o kreatif tarafları da herhalde çok faydalı oluyor.
Evet. Tabii biz böyle hatta daha çok yaratıcı ortaklar diyoruz. Kısa bir hikaye anlatmak gerekirse mesela Almanya'da geçtiğimiz sene Palina Roginski isimli bir Alman kadın oyuncuyla çalıştık. Ve Palina çok güzel bir kadın. Fakat sosyal medyasında sürekli işte vücut hatlarıyla ilgili ve giyimliyle ilgili eleştirel, biraz cinsiyetçi, seksist yorumlar görüyor. Ve bir gün artık böyle kafasına tak ediyor ve tamamen göğüs dekoltesinden oluşan bir fotoğraf paylaşıyor. Hiçbir şey görmüyoruz başka. Ve insanlara bir anda hücum ediyor. İşte yazıyor altına bir sürü yorumlar. Aslında çok çok daha cinsiyetçi olan. Ve 2 gün sonra fotoğrafın büyük halini paylaşıyor ki aslında bu bir erkeğin arkadan kalçasının görüntüsü. Ve daha sonra bu Almanya'da viral oluyor. Bütün gazetelere çıkıyor. Ve aslında yapmaya çalıştığı çarpıcı bir şekilde şunu anlatmak. Ben neysem oyum, ben olduğum kişiyim. Ve dolayısıyla biz aynen bu şekilde korkusuz ve toplumda fark yaratmayı, algıyı değiştirmeyi seven insanlarla çalışıyoruz. Onlar yaratıcı ortaklar bizim için.
Güzel, harika. Ben burada hemen diğer sorumu Irmak Bey'e sorayım. Facebook aslında sosyal medyanın çok önemli bir noktasında duruyor tabii. Peki Facebook ekosisteminde bu influencer marketing nerede duruyor? Nasıl görüyorsunuz?
Ya bunun iki türlü yaklaşmak lazım aslında. Bir tanesi ticari açıdan nerede duruyor, bir tanesi aslında platform dinamikleri anlamında nerede duruyor. Facebook'un misyonuna baktığınız zaman aslında biz insanlara seslerini duyurma ve topluluk oluşturma fırsatı tanımak istiyoruz ve dünyayı birbirine daha komünike, daha yakın hale getirmeye amaçlıyoruz. Bu anlamda da zaten influencerlar yarattıkları içerikler ve sürükledikleri topluluklar anlamında çok önemli bir yerde duruyor. Ama bugün hani biraz daha hani marka tarafına bakacak olursak daha relevant olmak adına ticari tarafta da biraz trendlerden bahsetmek lazım aslında. Günümüzde mobil çok önemli bir yere geldi. Artık her şey mobilde başlıyor. Offline alışverişlere baktığımız zaman bile aslında bunların %56'sının mobilden başladığını görüyoruz. Bu journey'nin aslında %56'sının mobilden başladığını görüyoruz. Hal böyle olunca da aslında alışverişe gidiyorum dönemi bitti. Artık insanlar gidip ürünleri aramıyorlar. Ürünler aslında insanları buluyorlar. Bizim platforma yaptığımız bütün yatırımlar da bu yönde aslında. Bu sayede de aslında e-ticaret sektörüne baktığımız zaman aslında %80'i gene mobilde gerçekleşiyor ve hani mobil uygulamalara ciddi yatırımlar devam ediyor. Çünkü lifetime value'yu arttırmaya amaçlıyorlar ve bunların hepsi de aslında günün sonunda pürüzsüz bir alışveriş tecrübesi sağlamak ve ciroyu maksimize etmek adına aslında. Şimdi bu noktada da platform dinamiklerine uygun içerikler üretmek ve insanları harekete geçirecek şeyleri orada koyabiliyor olmak çok önem kazanıyor ve influencerlar da burada çok büyük bir rol üstleniyor aslında. Çünkü zaten hani influencer olmalarının nedeni platform dinamiklerine uygun, belli kitlelere, belli passion pointlere dokunabilen içerikler üretmeleri ve bunları buradaki tüketicileri sürükleyebiliyor olmaları. Biz de platform olarak sıfırdan birisi bile girse bu şey, ben bugün hiç hesabım yok, yeni bir hesap açacağım. Belli bir passion point'im var, burada bir yol kat etmek istiyorum dediğimde de herkese eşit fırsatı sunmayı amaçlıyoruz.
Evet, öteden beri Facebook'un bu gerçekten normal kullanıcıların öne çıkarma fikri ve çok fazla hani reklam odaklı değil de bu işi biraz daha insanlar sesini duyursun anlamında yapması doğru bir strateji. Diyorsunuz ki bu influencerlarla birleştirdiğimizde zaten o organikliği sağlamak daha kolay oluyor diye anlıyorum.
Aynen, evet.
Harika. Diğer sorumu Tuğçe Hanım'a sorayım. Influencer marketing ve sosyal medya vazgeçilmez. Ben şimdi hatırlıyorum 5 sene önce ben o zamanlar Türk Hava Yolları'nda çalıştığım dönemde mesela Fortune Traveler diye YouTube'da bir kampanya yapmıştık ve çok yeniydi. Ve insanlar yadırgıyordu 5-6 sene aslında baktığınızda geçmişe doğru. Ama şimdi öyle değil. Yani neredeyse her alanda işte influencer mı kullansak, sosyal medyada bunu şey yapalım, markalarda da böyle bir gerçekten bu tarafa bir geçiş oldu. Herkes çok önemsiyor bu konuyu. Siz burada Magnum olarak en kritik olarak kullanacağımız projeler ya da yöntemler, mesela az önce örnek verdiniz Almanya'dan bir case. Buna benzer neler söyleyebilirsiniz bize? Influencer marketing ve sosyal medyanın çok önemli olarak kullanıldığı case'ler, çok katma değer sağlayan.
Bizim için kesinlikle en önemli şey Cannes Film Festivali. Biz her sene Cannes Film Festivali'nde global bir aktivasyon yapıyoruz. Dolayısıyla 50'ye yakın ülkeden katılımcılar oluyor, Magnum ülkelerinden. Ve 7 senedir burada en fazla yapmaya çalıştığımız şey Magnum'u gıda kategorisinde bir moda markası olarak konumlamaktı. Bu nedenle aslında işte Bella Hadid, Kendall Jenner, Cara Delevingne gibi kendine özgü, güçlü kadın modellerle çalıştık. Alexander Wang, Jeremy Scott gibi moda dünyasında farklılık yaratmış insanlarla çalıştık ve bu insanlara aslında 50'ye yakın ülkeden gelen influencerlarla ortamda buluşturduk, hikayelerini paylaşmalarını sağladık. Benim için en önemli şey aslında geçtiğimiz sene yaptığımız. Çünkü geçtiğimiz sene amacımız biraz da insanları haz peşinden koşmaya, kendine haz veren, tutku veren şeylerin peşinden koşmaya yönlendirmek istedik. Ve düşündük yani aslında çok da tanınan bir insan olmasına gerek yok, etkileyici bir insan olmalı bu. Iris Apfel diye 97 yaşında bir moda ikonuyla çalıştık. Bilmiyorum biliyor musunuz ama böyle kocaman siyah çerçeveli gözlükleri, renkli aksesuarları vardır. Kendisi dünyada ilk kot pantolon giyen kadın. Ve hala 97 yaşında pek çok ilki yapıyor. Ve biz onunla bir film çektik. Bu filmin senaryosu yoktu. Dedik ki yeni jenerasyona ne söylemek istersin? Ve onun söylediği mesajı Cannes Film Festivali'nde yine 100'e yakın influencer'la buluşturduk. Ve onlar da bunu dinleyip kendileri için hazmedemek, onlar kendileri tutkuları peşinden koşarken nelerle savaştı, neler kazandı bunu anlattılar. Dolayısıyla bu tamamen aslında influencer üzerine kurulmuş bir kampanyaydı. Bir televizyon reklamı vesaire de yoktu. Dijital ve tamamen influencerların anlattığı hikayelerle bizim anlatabildiğimiz bir şeydi. Dolayısıyla her sene bunu yapmaya devam ediyoruz. Önümüzdeki sene de inşallah yapmaya devam edeceğiz. Dolayısıyla bizim için en önemli bu diyebilirim.
Burada gerçeklik, gerçek insan hikayesi, ilham veriyor olması herhalde her şeyi değiştiriyor. Çünkü baktığınızda insanların beklentisi de bu yönde, değil mi? Başka hayatları ve ilham alabilecekleri hayatları özellikle görmek istiyorlar. O anlamda size şunu sorayım peki, ideal bir Irmak Bey size sorayım. Influencer marka işbirliği nasıl olmalı? Hani burada çünkü geleneksel reklamcılığa baktığımızda ya da iletişime baktığımızda hani brief odaklı çok yoğun ve brief'in bu kurallara bağlı kalmak zorundasındır reklam mantığı. Ama influencer marketing işin rengi biraz değişiyor herhalde. Ben onu merak ediyorum sizin uzman görüşünüz açısından. İdeal bir ilişki nasıl olmalı bir marka ile influencer'ın işbirliği sürecinde?
Tabii şimdi bu iki taraflı bir partnership aslında, ortaklık. Dolayısıyla iki tarafın da gözünden değerlendirmek lazım. Öncelikle her şeyden önce iki taraf için de geçerli olan aslında bir uyum olması. Buna da aslında hani doğallık diyebiliriz. O influencer o markayı ya da o ürünü post olarak koyduğu zaman ya da bununla ilgili bir içerik ürettiği zaman takipçilerine karşı olan sorumluluğunu unutmaması gerekiyor. İnsanlara baktığınız zaman Instagram platformunda %92'si aslında yeni markaları ve yeni ürünleri görmek istediklerini söylüyorlar. Ve %78 de platformun markalara çok uygun olduğunu ve influencerların aslında markalarla çalışmasını bir sorun görmüyorlar. Fakat bu nerede kırılmaya başlıyor? Eğer ki takip ettikleri influencer'ı, çünkü o influencer'ı niye takip ediyorlar? Ürettikleri içeriği beğeniyor, onun ilgi alanlarıyla uyuşmasını beğeniyor. Ne zaman ki oradaki doğallığı kaybetmeye başlıyor, o zaman müşteriler de memnuniyetsizliğe doğru gitmeye başlıyor. Dolayısıyla da hani hem influencerlar markayı seçerken kendilerine uygun olmasına dikkat etmeli. Her gelen markayı bence kabul etmemeliler. Hem de markalar influencer seçerken kendi marka hikayelerine uygun kişileri seçmeliler ve gerçekten onların uzun dönemli bir partnership üzerinden sürdürülebilir bir strateji kurmaları gerekiyor. Yani bir defa post girdim ya da 2 defa post girdim kampanya işte şu kadar kişiye ulaştırdım bitirdim değil. Oturup beraber bir ortaklık çerçevesinde uzun dönemli nasıl bir strateji yapabilirim? Influencer markaya ne tür değerler katabilir? Marka influencer'a ne tür değerler katabilir? Bunları analizinin yapılması gerekiyor. Diğer bir konu, marka influencer'ı seçerken genelde yapılan hata sadece takipçi sayısına bakmak oluyor bizim gördüğümüz. Halbuki işte deminki oturumda da bahsettiler. Biz görüyoruz ki mikro influencer'lar dediğimiz da hani mid-tier influencer'lar dediğimiz kitle de aslında gerçekten influence etme, bir kitleyi sürükleme ve bir aksiyon yaratma anlamında çok etkili olabiliyorlar. Bir de burada artık branded content ads gibi hani influencer'ın içeriğine paid medyayla çok daha geniş kitlere ulaştırabildiğiniz tool'lar, araçlar var. Dolayısıyla da hani aslında burada content creation, işte biraz önce Tuğçe'nin bahsettiği gibi yani markanın hikayesiyle influencer'ın hikaye anlatım tarzı eğer uyuşuyorsa o zaten hani siz hangi kitleye ulaştırırsanız zaten o ilgili kitlede rezone etmeye başlıyor. Burada önemli bir şey marka tarafında. Neden influencer kullanıyor markalar? Belli bir ya marka algısı ya yeni bir ürünün bilinirliğini arttırmak ve bununla ilgili bir satın alma eğilimi oluşturmak için. Ama genelde gördüğüm şey bunu ölçümlemiyorlar. Yani sadece post girdim, işte kaç kişi engage oldu, çok güzel ama gerçek outcome'ına bakmıyorlar. Biz şu anda daha hani yakın çalıştığımız markalarla protagonist test dediğimiz testler uyguluyoruz. Bu şu demek aslında, bir influencer'a bir içerik ürettiriyoruz. Yani daha sonra markayla influencer bir içerik üretiyorlar. Bu içerik bir influencer'ın kendi hesabından promote ediliyor. Bir aynı içerik markanın hesabından promote ediliyor. Bir de influencer'ın üretmediği ama aynı mesajı veren bir marka içeriği promote ediliyor. Dolayısıyla biz neyi görmüş oluyoruz? Birincisi content anlamında influencer'ın yarattığı içerik markanın kendi yarattığı içeriğe göre nasıl bir katkı sağlamış. İkincisi de o içeriğin marka sayfasından paylaşılmasıyla influencer sayfasından hesabından paylaşılması arasındaki etkiye bakıyoruz. Bu şekilde de aslında hani yavaş yavaş daha hani markayla align olan ve gerçekten etki yaratan influencer'ları belirleyerek bunlarla daha uzun dönemli partnership'ler yapılıyor.
Gayet güzel de bir özet oldu ve hikayelerin birbirine uygunluğu ve bu iki hikayeden yepyeni bir hikaye, işbirliği de aslında orada bir hikaye oluşturuyor. Kritik nokta bu diye anlıyorum ben. Öğleden sonra işte B2I görüşmeleri var. Influencerlarla markalar bir araya gelecekler. Hani orada da aslında dikkat edilmesi anlamında güzel notlar oldu bu diye düşünüyorum. Size sorayım Tuğçe Hanım şimdi. 50'den fazla ülkede var Magnum. Ve bu ülkelerde de birbirinden farklı influencerlar söz konusu. Sizin hani marka özünüzü anladığım kadarıyla işte bu haz duygusu
Evet.
dediniz. Bu ülkelerde influencer seçimi yaparken, tercihleri yaparken nasıl yapıyorsunuz? Zor bir şey çünkü gerçekten de. Her ülkenin kültürü farklı, karakteri farklı, espri anlayışları farklı. Hani o noktada baktığınızda kolay bir iş olmadığını tahmin ediyorum. Siz bunu nasıl üstesinden geliyorsunuz Magnum olarak?
Aslında biraz öncesinde Irmak'la da birlikte konuştuk. Biz de aslında artık erişimden ve takipçi sayısından çok en çok baktığımız şey nasıl nitelikli bir şey üretebiliriz, nasıl insanlarla samimi gelen, hikayelerin ortak olduğu bir şey üretebiliriz. Dolayısıyla birkaç tane globalde baktığımız şey var, daha ülke seviyesine inmeden de. Öncelikle o passion pointlerimiz aslında ilgi duyduğumuz şeyler özdeşleşiyor mu? Magnum için mesela bu moda, müzik, film, dans ve yemek, food. Bunlarda bir şekilde özdeşleşiyor muyuz? İkincisi, bu insanın, biraz önce aslında Nur Fettahoğlu söyledi. Benim dedi bir şeyle bir derdim var. Bir şey yapmak istiyorum hayatta, bir şey gerçekleştirmek istiyorum. İkinci şey, bu insan gerçekten bir şey gerçekleştirme çabasında bir amaca doğru gidiyor mu? Çünkü biz aslında o insanları teşvik etmek istiyoruz. Üçüncüsü de en kolay anlattığımız şey, dance like no one's watching diyoruz. Aslında bu insan gerçekten etrafındakileri aldırmadan, kendi içinden geldiğince biraz önce de Erol'la konuştuk. Şimdi dans ederek gelmesini
Orada,
bekliyorum
evet.
ama çünkü kendisi bana söylüyordu. Ben bazen işte kimse izlemiyormuş gibi dans ediyorum falan. Gerçekten hani o tarz insanlarla bir araya geldiğimizde güzel bir sinerji oluyor. Daha sonra yerel seviyeye indiğimizde de aslında o ülkede haz, tutku ne demek ve buna engel olan şeyler ne, ona bakıyoruz. Mesela Avrupa'da baktığınızda insanlar kendini bencil hissettiği için haz veren şeyleri yapmıyor. Türkiye'de, Çin'de bakıyoruz daha çok aile baskısından ya da toplum baskısından yapmıyor. Dolayısıyla biraz da bunların içerisine girerekten nasıl ilham verebiliriz o ülkede oturup ona göre seçiyoruz.
Burada peki ben kısa tekrar o soruya ekleme anlamında bir globalde işte hero mantığında kampanya yapalım ve bir çok multinational dünyada işte tanınmış birisiyle işbirliği yapıp bir de lokal gidelim gibi mi bir strateji oluyor genelde sizde, yoksa daha lokalize mi? Yani bir tane büyük yapalım, tüm ülkeleri etkileyelim gibi. Orada var mı
Biz biraz ikisini
söyleyebileceğiniz?
birleştiriyoruz gibi. Her sene bir tane global, daha her ülkeye relevant olabilecek, her ülkenin tanıyabileceği bir insan oluyor. Daha sonra da o diğer ülkelerden aslında aynı ruh ve aynı isteklere sahip insanları bir şekilde bir araya getiriyoruz. Bunun en güçlü model olduğuna karar verdik. Her türlüsünü bir şekilde denedik. Çünkü hem erişim sağlamış oluyoruz. Sonuçta Magnum büyük bir marka. Bizim aslında tüketiciye ulaştırdığımız dondurma milyonlarca adet. Dolayısıyla aslında erişim hala önemli. Fakat yine Irmak'ın da dediği gibi aynı zamanda o engagement'ı yaratabilecek, insanların hayatını daha özdeşleşen hikayeler anlatabilecek insanlar, yani influencerlar da çok önemli. Dolayısıyla o ikisini birleştiğimiz yerde bizim için Cannes Film Festivali her sene. Orada böyle güzel bir kutlama yapıyoruz. Herkes birbiriyle tanışıyor, hikayelerini anlatıyor. Ve orası gerçekten sanki bir marka işbirliğinden çok gerçekten bir komünite gibi oluyor. Ve o zaman diyoruz ki tamam, biz doğru bir şey yapıyoruz.
Harika.
Evet. Son yorum. Var mı?
Son bir soru, tamam, hızlıca.
Son bir soru.
Şimdi baktığımızda işte pazarlamada tabii yepyeni kavramlar ortaya çıkıyor. Mesela işte bundan 10 küsur yıl önce diyelim viral pazarlama vardı, gerilla pazarlama vardı. Influencer marketing de aslında son yıllarda önemini ortaya koyan bir şey. Yapı. Bu önemi artarak devam edecek mi diyorsunuz? Yoksa hani yerini bulacak ve ondan sonra işte pazarlamanın son yıllardaki hareketlerinden biri mi olacak diyorsunuz? Ne diyorsunuz?
Ya burada aslında biraz başta bahsettiğim bu pürüzsüzleştirme, satın alma sürecini pürüzsüzleştirme kısmına değineceğim. Yani Facebook olarak bizim aslında zero friction future dediğimiz bir kavram var. Bu ne demek aslında? İnsanlar Instagram'da bir ürünü gördüler. hoşlarına gitti, ilgilerini çekti. Satın almak için tıklayıp başka bir sayfaya inip login olup adres bilgisi bırakıp yani böyle bir süreç yaşasınlar istemiyoruz. Bunu aşmak için de aslında Amerika'da şu anda limitli olarak bir Instagram checkout lansmanı yapıldı zaten. Yani siz Instagram'da gördüğünüz bir post üzerinden hiç başka bir platforma gitmeden, login bilgisi doldurmadan, herhangi bir adres bilgisi doldurmadan çünkü zaten signed insiniz. 2-3 saniye içerisinde aslında gördüğünüz ürünü satın alımını gerçekleştirebiliyorsunuz. Biz buna Zero Friction Future diyoruz vizyon olarak. Influencer'lar da burada tabii çok önemli bir noktada çünkü yakın gelecekte aynı düzeneyi influencer'lar da yapabilmeye başlayacaklar. Yani markalı bir ürünü koydukları zaman aslında direkt o post üzerinden satışın gerçekleştiği bir yöne doğru gidiyoruz. Bu noktada da aslında şu anda birazcık daha iletişim tarafında ağırlıklı olan bu influencer marka işbirlikleri daha ticari boyutta ve gerçek birer satış kanalına dönüşmeye
sattın, ne kadar ayakkabı sattın falan gibi o tür ölçülebilir noktalar. Tamam, harika. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Çok teşekkür ederiz.
Sağ olun.
Thank you. Put your hands together. For that insider info. Teşekkürler. Sağ ol, ağzına sağlık. That's right. I told you. That Rage Against the Machine's not gonna stop. It's gonna be in my brain for ages and ages. Yes. Before our do we have a little video going on here? We got video? Video? Anyway, next keynote speaker. 7 keynotes, 7 chakras, 7 colors, 7 solfeggio tones, 7 lucky number, like that, Mr. Leonard. This is a talk about a man who is one of the top personal branding experts. This is what he does. He holds workshops at companies, speaks at conferences, works hands-on with executives and entrepreneurs who run not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but 8-figure companies and provides consulting and teaching through also online courses. He partnered up and co-authored a book that popped off, and that's called Ditch the Act and Reveal the Surprising Power of the Real You for Greater Success. He will help us, teach us how to align with our authentic and sincere and true selves. I'd like to bring to the stage Mr. Leonard Kim. Put it together. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
And also, before Leonard speaks, I also just found out we have a dope and unbelievable illusionist going to perform, a magic man who will definitely revitalize that. If you ever had a lack or luster of magic in your life, he will put that back in. We have Atif Ghafouri at the end of the show for some wonderful magic. And before that, speak your magic, boy.
Cool,
Speak your magic. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. Leonard Kim here. And one thing I learned in my 24 hours of being in Turkey is that this is a country where a lot of people rely on friendships. Like, that's what the whole culture is built around. Now, I was going to start my slide with this, but we're going to skip this because Shane Barker already asked who's a creator, who's a brand, and who's an influencer in the room. And we kind of figured that this is the majority of the audience here. So what we're going to talk about is something that's going to really relate to you. Now, you just got introduced, so I'll skip my introduction real fast. But basically, anyone in this room knows that what you really want to do when you're going out there and creating content is, let's see, this is the long version. What you want to do is you've been seeing that a lot of content out there is getting less likes, less comments, and less shares. So what ends up happening is the reason behind that is people are so used to all the content that they're seeing that they're just clicking through and they're just flipping through and they have to have something that's really meaningful for them to really connect with it. So anyone who's a creator in this room knows how to go out there and create that extra special content that really gets that engagement. And they know how to create that content that really touches the soul and gets people moved. Now, there's a huge missed opportunity here, and that's a bio. So what usually happens is when people pull up your content, what they do is when they come across something absolutely amazing, they go and they scour through every single piece of content you ever made. They go onto Google, they look you up, and they start to find any information out there. Now, only about 1% of creators have a bio, and it's a really interesting thing. And within that 1% of people who have a bio, Most of them are designed like resume. They just talk about your career experience. And I don't know if anyone in here has ever worked in human resources or anything, but reading resumes is pretty boring, and it doesn't really give you that ability to connect with others. Then a lot of other people, what they do is when they have a bio, they just play more like a highlight reel. They're going out there and sharing their very best moments with the world. So when you read something like that, you can't really connect with it either. There's very few bios out there that show the good, the bad, and your version of the ugly. Now, one of the other speakers, he talked about his artificial intelligence models, and the ones that had, the little scars here and the stretch marks, those are the people that people connected with, and they created stories around that. So what does that tell us? We can't just go out there and share the good or just the bad. We have to add in the ugly too, because that's what creates that deeper connection as human beings. So if you want to go out there and you want people to reach out to you because they have a deep connection with you, what you have to do is you have to go and focus on the bio. But you can't have a bio that kind of looks like this, where you're showing up your very best moments, because not everyone kind of wakes up like this and they go, yay. But really, what you have to do is you have to kind of look at your bio as the most important piece of real estate that you have on the web. This thing is the thing that people are going to use to really go and identify and connect with you. This is the thing that people are going to use to really get to understand who you are and what you're all about. So when you have this bio, what you want people to do is you want people to see themselves in your story. They have to know, like, and trust you in order for them to do business with you. So if you kind of know that, what you really have to do is you have to figure out how to create that deep sense of connection with your audience. And what does that do? If you're able to really do this, you end up with career success. You end up with career opportunities, influencer deals, book deals. You become an operator at a company. All these things are things that I've done as well. In your personal life, you're able to go out there and create friendships, loving relationships, and everything that your heart actually desires. Now, you can even do things that people might even deem impossible. Like you could go out there and win awards and become like a top expert in your space. Kind of like I have. And like these are things that I never even knew were possible. And lucky enough for me and a lot of people who are looking for love in this room, you could even find that, because I found Angie, who's right here, and I scared away every single woman I ever met except for her, and it just happened. And that deep connection is what really drives that for you. So how do you really go out there and connect at a human level, and why does this drive you towards massive success? Well, you can't really go out there and play a highlight reel, because that doesn't work. Sure, it's okay for social media, but when it comes to a bio, it's not what connects you with the world. What you have to do is you have to share the good, the bad, and your version of the ugly, because that's where you create the deep connections. Now, a lot of people might be thinking that if you go out there and share the good and the bad moments, that it's going to, when you go and share those good and bad moments, what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to let you create a legacy that goes well beyond your own personal lifetime. So how that kind of works is what you have with your bio is the opportunity to have people who are in your audience, who are reading your content, watching your videos and stuff like that. You have the ability to have them fall in love with you. And if people are falling in love with you, guess what? The deals are going to be lining up left and right for exactly what you're looking for. It's going to help you expand your brand. It's going to help you get more media features. It's going to help you earn more money and get more social media followers. Any goal that you have is achieved when people fall in love with you. So how do you go out there and do this? What you have to do is you have to share your own story. And that's a whole story. That's not just the very good moments. Now, a lot of people in this room are probably thinking, oh, why would I go out there and share my very scary moments, like losing a house or maybe getting into a divorce or any of the bad things that happen? Like, you're probably thinking, oh, you know what? People are going to mock me. They're going to ridicule me. They're going to call me a loser. But I can give you proof that that doesn't happen, because I've kind of lived it. And those were the exact same feelings I had. When I first went out there and I shared my story with others, I'm like, oh, people are going to mock me, ridicule me, call me a loser, and all this other stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of prove it to you here by sharing my bio with you. First off, when I was raised, this is my lovely mother here. She had dreams of becoming a model. The only problem is, by the time I was about 2 years old, my dad decided that he didn't want to live in America anymore, so he bailed and he went back to Seoul, Korea. And when he went back to Seoul, it left my mom in a situation where she was a single parent. And if anyone knows any single parents, they know just how difficult it is for anyone to be in that type of situation. I mean, I don't even think I could personally do this, so that's just how troubling it is. Luckily for my mother, she had two parents, my grandmother and grandfather, who were willing to go and take care of me so she could go and pursue her dreams. Now, my grandmother, she kind of ruled with an iron fist. And my grandfather, he was the very opposite of that. He showed me love, compassion, empathy. He took me out for root beer floats, got me McDonald's, and all that other fun stuff. So even though I had one stern parent, the other one was this loving figure who just loved me no matter what I did. And it was kind of a great situation, except for there was a problem. Because my mom left me at 2 years old, even if it was unintentional, it created a deep sense of abandonment issues within me, where I felt like I was always alone. And that really showed on my first day of school. On my first day of school, I went running to my grandmother and I held onto her leg for about 30 minutes, bawling my eyes out, crying like no tomorrow, because I didn't want to go make new friends. I just wanted my family. And I don't know if anyone here could relate to that, but that was kind of how my troubling years as a teenager were, or as a kid. And what ended up happening after that is my grandfather, he ended up getting Alzheimer's. He began to forget who I was. And after he forgot who I was, what ended up happening is he passed away. And when he passed away, I thought that all that pain I had would kind of go away. But my uncle held a huge grudge against my grandfather. He really didn't like him. So what he did is he told my grandma to get rid of all his belongings. He basically took the legacy of my grandfather and erased it, so there was no trace of him left except for a few pictures. Now, what did this do to me, a little kid who was in my teenage years? I ended up losing my roots. I lost exactly who I was. I started hanging out with the wrong kids. I started drinking coffee, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, all the things that a minor shouldn't be doing. And I got into a lot of trouble. But I still had hopes of going out there and one day achieving that dream that we have of, owning a house, getting married, having a wonderful car, and all those other things that potentially could happen. But that really wasn't something that was in store for me. In fact, from the age of 21 to 28, my life just went completely wrong. Everything that you could ever imagine possibly going wrong in someone's life happened to me. I worked at startup after startup that went bankrupt. I worked for a company that paid me $2,300 over the course of 6 months. Not $2,300 every single month, but over the entire course of 6 months. I also didn't pay my electricity bill for 6 months because things were just going so horribly. And what also ended up happening is I was served an eviction notice and I had to go back and live with my grandmother because there was no other choice. And while all these things happened, my life slowly withered away and I kind of had panic attacks. I began avoiding others. And I tried to go out there and actually fake my way and pretend that I was still going out there to succeed. But I was too scared to show people what was really going on in my life. I was pretending that life was fine, when in reality, every single thing was falling apart. It was just like my life just completely shattered. And the crazy thing that happened is after that, I kind of fell into a situation where after I was lying to everyone, I ended up in a situation where I was kind of ready just to end it all. And I decided that it was my time to go, and I didn't want to be here anymore. I kind of looked at my funeral and realized that no one was actually going to show up because I had no friends. I had no one that actually loved me. So I said goodbye to the world. Whether fortunate or not, I was given a second chance to go out there and see what could come from my life. I began reminiscing about how my grandfather raised me, and when I got back to my roots and seeing that he shared his love, compassion, and empathy with the world, and he was always there volunteering in the school cafeteria, going out and helping others, that I needed to go out there and do what my grandfather had raised me to do. And I was completely terrified of it, but I realized that this was my moment to get behind the driver's wheel. I had to go out there and share my most vulnerable moments with others. And by doing that, I could kind of go out there and reclaim my life. And what did that result in? 6 months after I wrote, I had 2 million reads on my content. Within a year and a half, that led to 10 million reads. Fast forward to today, it's led to over 300 media features. It's led to me running a personal branding agency where I'm helping others go out there and build massive personal brands and becoming the #1 in their field. I've been able to author a book called Ditch the Act with an international publisher, McGraw-Hill Business. And I've been able to meet Angie, the love of my life, who I completely adore, who's just right here. And, you know, right back, what we're doing right now is we're working towards potentially trying to have a kid. And once we get back to Los Angeles, we're going to be moving into that dream home that we always pictured that we would have. Not with a white picket fence, but with our version of it. And all this really happened because we decided to go out there and ditch the act, take off that mask, and reveal my whole self with the world. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so, sorry, I thought I removed these slides earlier. You might be thinking, how do I go out there and how do I create a bio like this? So, it's pretty simple. It just only takes 3 steps. Step 1 would be to grab a friend. So if you're in this room, you probably know someone who you could go out there and talk to. The second step would be to go and sit down with that friend, sit with them for an entire hour, and tell them your life story. Talk about how you were raised, what your family was like, what the trials and tribulations you went through in life. Talk about everything from your early life to junior high, high school, kindergarten, your first relationship, your first career, all the way up to how you got to where you are today. Make sure you record that conversation, and then you move on to step 3. You would go and transcribe that and start sectioning it out. Now, anyone in here who might need extra help with creating a bio, I have a worksheet that you could work with. If anyone in here wants to create a bio and have it reviewed by me, you could also send it to me at hello@leonardkim.com. So take a moment to go and take a picture of that so you could have my email address. And if you need a full worksheet on how to go out there and actually create a bio, on this next slide right here, we have this website, learnwhat.works/bio. That gives you a full comprehensive guide on exactly every single thing that you need to go out there and create a comprehensive bio where people go and fall in love with you. And if you want to go out there and go and do the full 8-step expose yourself process, I have a book called Ditch the Act. You could order it online, and that gives you the entire 8 steps that you really need to go and create a compelling personal brand. Now, if anyone out there felt a deep connection with me when I shared my story, I'll be available, I'll be around. Come up to me, share your story with me, and let's connect. And because we're here in Turkey, let's all become friends if we can. And thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Oh man, beautiful. Thank you so much. That's incredible, applicable stuff that we can all use to tell the good, the bad, and our ugly parts of our lives. So thank you again, Leonard. Woo! Personal branding. That's what he does. I took notes. You don't want to see my ugly. Gunfire. Yes, our next panel is about how to measure the campaign and monetize the power. As you know, what gets measured gets managed, and hopefully what gets measured also gets monetized. We're going to learn from our leading experts. First, I'd like to bring to the stage the founder of Epic Signal. Epic Signal is a social-first agency, and it works with Fortune 500 brands on their influencer and community building campaigns, and was recently named Digiday's Digital Video Agency of the Year. Welcome to the stage, Brendan Gunn, ladies and gentlemen. Brendan! Where you at? Where you at? Ready? Ready, go! Where you go? Get mic'd up, yeah. Now watch me do my clown dance. Watch me do my clown dance. Clown dance, clown dance, clown dance, yeah. Clown dance, clown dance, clown dance, yeah. All right, Brandon, I'm gonna introduce our next guest. If you don't bring it up here, real quick, real fast. Yeah, speed it up. Slow it down.
Sorry, I was getting this on.
Welcome on stage, brother.
Thanks.
Yes, Brandon Gunn. He's up. He made it. Woo! Yes, our next speaker on the panel is the senior product marketing manager at one of the world's leading live streaming platforms, and he is 10 years ago. He started 10 years ago. Started taking YouTube influencers and connecting them with global brands. Like, he's definitely a forerunner, a trailblazer at this. Started way back when, and even he got Twitter popping, got Vine popping, YouTubers with musicians and Vine content creators. He's done it all. I'd like to bring to the stage Ryan Lee. Bring it in. Mr. Ryan Lee. I will buy your booty building program, sir. Look at that.
Quite an intro. Thank you.
Yes. Next, we have our man, the executive and creative director. I put it here, it's on my phone, though. Yeah. Here we go. Daniel Oakley, ladies and gentlemen, is the founder of a cultural advisory firm called Beautiful, BTFL, just like all of you souls out there. Beautiful. And yes, he has nearly 15 years of experience at the center of entertainment and tech industries. He's been with Sony, he's been with Warner Bros., he's been with Beats by Dre, Apple, but now currently his agency, Beautiful, consults brands and also represents Grammy-winning musicians, New York Times best-selling authors, and much more. And he's just stylish. His mustache might even be sexier than mine. Bring to the stage Mr. Daniel Oakley. Look at that fresh, clean stash. So crisp, so crisp. Yeah. That's power, man. That's power, man. Bring it in, yeah. And the moderator for this panel she is the head of influencer marketing at Matter of Form. Now, Rachel is a luxury brand influencer and she works with social media specialists, but she's managed extremely successful campaigns across the board with leading luxury brands including Cartier, Breitling, Estee Lauder, etc. And she just has a ton of experience in the industry. She's working with both London and Paris to drive forward digital PR across brands within the Richemont Group. Welcome to the stage, Miss Rachel Clay! Moderate this panel. Teach me how to make that money. Cash, money, stunning. Cash, money, stunning. Yeah. All right. Hopefully we will rich. We'll be rich after this.
Okay, so hi, and welcome to the last panel of the day. Thanks to Errol and his fabulous introductions for us all, and because I am aware that we are a little short of time, I think I'm just going to go straight ahead and ask Brendan, Daniel, and Ryan our first question. So, when you all think back over the many, many campaigns that you have run between you, and not so much those that have had brand awareness objectives, but those that have had more commercial targets that you've been trying to reach. What would you say how can influencer marketing best move followers and consumers through the purchase journey?
Yeah, one thing we've done a lot recently that's we've seen have a dramatic impact is incorporating influencers into a lot more aspects of the campaign, not limiting them to like their own silo. Oftentimes you have your larger brand campaign created by the agency, and then influencer marketing is this component kind of off to the side. And we've seen a ton of success leveraging the influencer content and promoting it with paid. And there's a lot of benefits as a result of that. So like, we all know the algorithms are really like throttling down. So you're lucky if an influencer does a post and you've got, 5% of people seeing it. With paid, you're able to really scale that, and then in addition to that, you're able to track it towards any of the standard media benchmarks. So, you can do brand favorability studies, you can optimize for acquisition, retention, and across the board when we've done that, because the influencers have such engaged audiences already, when you support their content with paid, you get that scale, and then you can optimize towards your KPI. And like we've seen us be able to reduce cost per acquisition by 50%, brand favorability increase, double digits. We've even done stuff where we created long-form content with influencers, and the assets we're promoting with paid are generating watch time of over 15 minutes. And this is in an era when a brand is struggling to get people to watch 3 seconds. And so that, I think, is generally the best approach that we've found to really move consumers across the funnel.
And Daniel, would you agree, from your experience, that moving customers through a funnel, it can be done this way?
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think that when you're thinking of the consumer funnel, people think a lot around consideration and conversion. Obviously, conversion means typically you're generating revenue from that. I think one thing that gets ignored a lot is retention. And so breaking down retention between two things that we look at. One is loyalty and the other is advocacy. So loyalty, is that user going to use your product or your service again? And then advocacy is, are they going to be able to get out there and get the word out about the product? So I think those are two elements of retention that are extremely valuable. So obviously the conversion is usually transactional, and then you move into this kind of longer form piece of it. And to elaborate a little bit more on what Brendan was saying, the interactive content piece of it, I think, is extremely important to get the consumer through, just because it's hard to differentiate these days. And if you've got interactive content, whether it's videos or your brand has a personality on socials, or things that are becoming more and more popular like podcasts and just relatable content. So looking at those elements to also help connect your brand or service with consumers, I think is super important.
Yeah, and I would just agree to what Brendan said. I think the old days of just paying an influencer to post on their social media accounts has completely changed. I think you really have to use that influencer in many different channels. And all of those channels, as Brendan said, whether it's paid social, those give you kind of the tracking and analytics that can really kind of show the ROI. And it's good for the influencer as well, getting exposure to new audiences. So really taking that content that's created for their own channel and doing lookalike audience ad targeting, which will target people that look like the audience of the influencer, but on a much broader scale. And that's really where you see the impact. The only other thing I would add is using influencers multiple times. So using an influencer not just once and be done, but actually over the course of time, we've seen click-through rates and purchase rates or any sort of kind of brand affinity go up if the influencer posts about a brand the second, third, or even fourth time. So kind of creating those longer-term engagements.
Yeah, no, I would agree in that almost kind of retargeting approach and creating these longer-term, hopefully mutual beneficial relationships between brands and influencers. But just picking up on what you said at the beginning of your answer there around how it is really no longer a best practice approach to just find even great, really relevant on-brand influencers and pay them to post and hope for the best. How would you say beyond that influencer marketing has evolved with regards to both what brands expect and also how influencers like to work?
Yeah, I'll just say I think once again the idea of just paying for a social post it should be completely gone. I think we've even seen influencers start with social, but using the influencer as a double or in kind of a larger like TV spot. How do you actually use influencer across all of your campaigns in a much more cohesive strategy is really where the future is going. And a lot of these folks, like I said, while they're digitally strong and have a big audience, the power to kind of reach a lot of people is through kind of these other channels and kind of taking that content. Anything to add to that, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you touched on, both of you guys were talking about, like the long-term partnerships, I definitely think that's, we see more and more brands evolving and getting into that. it's way more effective, and I think it makes a lot of sense. It's kind of analogous to like the early days of influencer marketing with celebrities. You know, Nike didn't pay Michael Jordan to play one basketball game in Nikes, and then let Adidas go and pay him to play in some other one. Like they established a partnership, and like Jordan's getting paid tons of money, but it's credible, and I think also memorable because it's ongoing. It's multiple campaign touch points. You're able to really like get a lot out of your investment, and we've seen it be mutually beneficial because for the brand, you get economies of scale. Like if you're doing a deal with an influencer and you're like, hey, we're going to pay for a year's worth of content. Like let's say we want 12 videos, one a month over the course of a year. Odds are they'll give you the rate they'd charge, about 6 individual brands. And then the flip side of that is you, as on the brand side, can negotiate category exclusivity. You can test and learn over time and see, what kind of messaging works well. When we integrate them in events, does that work better? If we have them do live streams, you can kind of fiddle with it. And those little adjustments over time really make a dramatic impact. And the learnings don't really carry over if you do a one-off with an influencer and then you're going to work with somebody else. So I think really that kind of like endorsement style approach is the direction it's heading.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think for sure, I mean, the Nike and the Mike Jordan example is one that I often use to explain the importance of finding a real good fit between an influencer and a brand, doing something that is credible and that is beneficial to both parties. And long-term relationships for sure would allow for organic content. They would allow just for sort of human one-on-one relationships to build up, and for all of the benefits that come to that, the last-minute requests, or you can't make it to this event, but maybe we could do this instead. All of those conversations become much easier to have when you have a longer-term relationship and understanding with someone.
And I would say that's where a lot of brands make mistakes in influencer marketing, is not doing their homework. It's a lot of work, and that's why there's agencies, like Brendan's and Beautiful that are dedicated just to influencer marketing, because this is a lot of work. You don't just contact somebody, pay them, and have them post. You got to do your homework on their following. What is their audience breakout? Do they get real engagement, or is it fake engagement? There's a lot of work that goes into that matchmaking. And then briefing. The briefing process, I think, is another process that a lot of brands don't do well, and the content doesn't end up being that engaging, and that's why. It's because there's a lot of time and effort that goes into briefing an influencer on what to create, how to create that best fits within their audience. And so I would say that's one area where take the time to research the influencer, take the time to brief, and then from a tracking perspective, ask for all of the analytics, ask the influencer to provide all of the metrics that you can see if it worked, and then optimize and iterate. Make sure you lean into what works and stop doing what doesn't work.
And Daniel, just to take it directly back to the title of the topic, how would you say that the influencer industry has evolved with regards to tracking? Is it more sophisticated now? Do brands demand more? Are influencers offering more? What is your experience?
Yeah, I would say just looking at how it's evolved, Shane actually spoke to it a little bit in his presentation where I was at previously was Beats by Dre, and looking at kind of that early days of influencer marketing, if you will, but Jimmy and Dre had great relationships with a lot of celebrities and influencers. Getting them the product and it being a quality product was one of the things that people wanted to actively talk about. So to move forward from 2008 to now, there's way better tools, there's way better analytics, and there's way better actionable data out there. So I think brands are definitely asking for as much detail as possible from these folks, especially when they have longer term partnerships, so they can more strategically market to their audience as well. And I think brands will continue to ask for every new metric that comes out. I think it's one of those where, as the influencer or the partner, you have to just be comfortable with the type of information you're sharing about your audience. And then from there, really, to both of these guys' points, look at the longer-term trajectory of what that partnership is.
And on the influencer side, you find that influencers are very forthcoming with the demographic data, their performance analytics, all of these things, or do you find that it's a challenge sometimes to get the accurate data?
I think it's typically a challenge. I will say that it's a left brain, right brain a lot of times, where not everybody is analytically minded. So going into these tools can be overwhelming for a lot of people, especially when you're focused the 24 hours a day on creating content and putting it out into the world and seeing how it reacts. It becomes, you have to completely flip your mindset and think about like, all right, well, how did this content react? How is it performing for my brand partnership or just looking at it? So I think it's still a lot about education.
Yeah. For sure, on both sides, I think in many areas of the industry, but it is improving. And just to finish on, the last question for all you guys, what are the biggest mistakes that you think that brands make when they sort of embark on influencer marketing campaigns?
I was going to say originally that they don't do long-term partnerships, but since we covered that, I would say I think that the aspect they tend to overlook is gosh, this is a good question. I think they'll build oftentimes a campaign with an influencer in mind and ignore like their strategy. I think you need to kind of like flip it on its head. What's the appropriate strategy, and then find the influencers for that. When you do it in reverse, it just doesn't.
You just end up shoehorning in that talent because you like them, or your intern said they're cool, or
big time.
Yeah, and I hate to beat a dead horse about this whole one and done thing, but I do agree that it's not the right model. I will say that I don't know if it's because brands typically operate with quarterly budgets or they're afraid of long-term commitments with some of these folks. I think that a good example of that where a long-term partnership has worked, where we had a client that was a musician but also super interested in fashion. So the idea was he had a American Heritage boot brand that he wore on stage and off stage. So that led to organically a brand partnership, which turned into spending 2 years actually developing his own collection with the brand. So kind of getting ingrained within the brand and also helping them and creating a product that he was extremely proud to go out and speak about, because it was authentic and it was organic and it was something that he spent a lot of creativity and research going into actually building the collection.
I would just say brands, the biggest mistake I see is brands don't fully commit to influencer marketing. They just test it out and feel like it doesn't work and move on, whereas you really need to dedicate a good amount of money. We mentioned earlier, not just for paying the influencer to create the content, but licensing that content to do paid digital or maybe licensing the content to push on their own accounts. But really think of the influencers as an agency of content creator, a content creator agency, and really get the most out of that influencer. Dedicate budget for additional photos that you can post on your brand account. All of these different things you think through in the beginning, and when you go to that influencer, you have a full cohesive strategy, not like, hey, I just want to pay you to post on Instagram. I think that's the biggest mistake brands make. And then, going back to tracking and analytics, once you have all that content, you then have the power of, when you put it through paid social, you have the power of tracking it, seeing what works, optimizing, and running really kind of funnel driving clicks and those types of things for your campaign. So go all in, brands, like fully commit, try it, spend the money, and you'll see the results.
And I would just add to that, educate yourselves too. So like we were saying, there's a whole load of things that you need to know, to be aware of, tips and tricks, all the different approaches that you can take to really spend the money trying to educate yourself and understanding the best way to approach it for you or for your brand before you embark on it. And I think, guys, sadly, that is all we have time for. I know that was super short, but I think I'm right in saying we're all around for the rest of the day.
Yep. Yeah.
So if there was anything you wanted to pick up on, do come and find us throughout the afternoon and this evening.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank
guys.
you.
Yes! For the love of God. Different jam one more time. Thank you, guys. Woo! Maximize and optimize your ability to monetize. Thank you, crew, for all that wonderful info. We got inflow, outflow, and exo, and esoteric, all the ways in, around, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for that. Guys, if anyone's outside and can hear my voice, let me unroll this scroll. How long can it scroll for, JQJ? Is that 12 double-decker buses? I can scroll for infinity? Yes, guys, we have a super, super special guest. I don't even know where to begin. There's something that I definitely have a great admiration for, and that's for the ability to inspire magic. Magic within our hearts, magic within our souls. And I'd like to bring to the stage an illusionist, per se, a magician, some might say. He is the world's best magician, went down in history. L'histoire. In what, though, you ask? He was the third most searched celebrity on Google in and around Turkey. And he has been watched by more than 100 million people worldwide on social media, and was the top YouTube video in Turkey, and simultaneously the first and second trending video around the world. Yeah. Wow. I didn't even say his name yet. I'm not even done reading this scroll. I got the whole scroll. Yes. Differently from many magicians we have watched until now, the metals on this stage are bending, much like the minds are being read, and the future is being guessed. A prophet, some might say. And objects are levitating, right? Tell us more. Everything is more astonishing and true than we ever believed possible. And I'd like to bring to the stage a man who will prove that to us today. Arif Ghafouri! Blow my mind with your illusions. Now, where do we go? What do we do? Hey. But I'll never let you go. Never let you go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Arif Ghafouri and I'm an illusionist. I hope today you have full of energy because I need your energy so much. Before I come here, I sit, write a prediction, write on a paper, put in a box, and bring it to myself. And at the last of the show, we will see what I predict will be true or not. Now, I need a person who have a credit card or some ID card. Someone have it? Yes. Can I take it? Okay, can I take it? Do you have a card? Or credit card? Or something like that? You have. I need a woman also. Yes, you can come. Take a applause for her. Come. You have a card also, yes. What's your name? I want you to come here, please. Yes. What's your name? Christina. From? Los Angeles. Now I want to show you something different. Maybe you don't see it before. Just concentrate and look. Now I want to just concentrate. Thank you. Now I want to do it same with you. Yes, I want you to come here, please. Come to the right. Sit here, please. Bring your back. Yes. Now I want you to lay down. Yes. Bring your hands up. And I will close you that you feel yourself more comfortable. Yes. Just look at my hands. Close your eyes. Thank you very much. And before you go, I want to try something more different with you. So, we try something different with you. And I want we use your energy and the people who sit. Take it. Is it normal? Yes, normal. So, I want you to just take it in your hand like this. And I need one more person. Who wanna come? You come, yes? Yes, you. Take a applause for him. Hello? Errol? Yes. Yes. And I want you to come here, yes, you can come here. And take her hand, yes. And take your finger like this. And come here. Just concentrate, send all your energy.
Energy vibes, come on everybody.
And
touch it.
On.
Oh. Yes! We're doing it!
And just take your finger back.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Electrical energy!
But before you go,
electrons!
I want
running free, flowing free!
You are full of energy, so I want to try something more different with you.
I don't know about this whole more different thing. So different.
I want you to take, is it normal? Yes?
Yes, 100%.
Take it. It's glass. Yes?
It's glass for sure.
Okay. Now I want, take it in your hand, your right hand like this. Yes. And bring it forward like this.
I am from Deutschland. This is
little bit come back because it's
aus Deutschland, yeah.
Yes. Now I want you to just concentrate.
Schmeckt gut.
Concentrate on the glass. Send all your bad energy to the glass. Send all your energy, your bad energy to the glass. I want everybody take all your bad energy and send to the glass. Just concentrate. Send one. Everybody together.
All the negative energy. All the bad energy.
Send all your bad energy to the glass. Everybody together. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much.
That was actually sick. That was sick. That was sick.
Thank you. Now
we did it all together.
Yes.
No more bad energy. We're free. We're free.
Now I need 3 more person who wanna come on the stage. Who wanna come? You come, yes. And from backside, who wanna come? You come, yes. Yes, this woman and 1 more person who are Turkish. Turkish, you come. You don't want. Turkish, who can read a book? Okay, you come, yes. Okay, what, she come. Name next, hello. Hello, what's your name? Darin. And you, Niha and Puna. Now I want you to come here and stand in a line. Before I come here, I sit, write a prediction. Write on a paper, put in the box, and bring it myself. Now I will ask you some things, and I give you some cards and some books. And I will ask you to choose any of them. But before I come here, I predict what you will choose a little bit later. We will see what I predict will be true or not. So here I have a deck of cards. As you know, in every deck of cards, we have 52 different cards, and all of them different. I want you shuffle it. Shuffle it. All of them normal, not any tricky or something. Just check it. Shuffle it. Yes? Okay. Oops. Okay, no problem. Now, I shuffle it again. And I will ask you when you want, you will just say stop. When you want, say stop. Here, do you want to change? No? Are you sure? You don't want to change. Is it possible that I predict this card and write it before on the paper? Do you want to change? No, you don't want to change. Okay, so take your card, don't show anybody, just look yourself, don't show anybody, okay? From 52 different cards, you just select one card and you don't want to change it. And I put it here. And I want you to put the box in your pocket. Okay? And here I have another deck of cards. What I write here, different animals' name, like snake, cat, zebra, camel, what is it? It's bee, rhino, penguin, iguana, dog, and different ostrich, cheetah, and different animals' name here. Now I will ask you that you will select any cards. I will mix it also. All of them mixed, yes? Now when you want, just say stop. Do you want to change? Are you sure? Is it possible that I predict this animal and before right there? It's 1 from 50. It's possible. Do you want to change it? No, you don't want to change it also. Okay, take your card. Don't show anybody. Just look at yourself. From very much different animals, you just select one. And here I have 2 books. Maybe you read them before. Turkish people, I don't know. You read, okay, you read. You read it before? Yes. Which one do you want? Do you want to change it? No. You want, okay, change it. I just select one word from 2 books and write on a paper. From 2 books, you select 1 book, and little bit later, from million of words, you will select just 1 word. And you will see that I predicted before or not. So open the book. How many pages does it have? $494 pages. All pages different. Can you check it? Maybe people can think I make it. Especially, it's normal book. Yes. Okay. Open any page which you want. What? Not important, everybody will see it. Just open any page which you want. Do you want to change? No. Here, you want to change? Okay, change it. Change it. Do you want to change it again? Change it again. Do you want to change it again? Because I know that you will select this page and change it, and again change it, and again change it. Do you want to change it again? No. Because I know that you will not change it again. But now you want to change it. No? Are you sure? Okay. Which page do you select? Here, 127 and 126. Which one you want? 127, this page. I will put my hand on this page and I will move it. And she will select one word from this page. When you want, you just say stop. Wait. When you want, say stop. Here, do you want to change? Okay, when you want, say here. Okay, now I want to just read what you select. Can you at loud, say at loud? Aşk. You from 2 books, just select 1 book. You change very much page. You just select this page and select 1 word, and it's aşk. It means love in Turkish. So, before I come here, I write a prediction. We will see what I write is true or not. You can check it. Come here. Come more near. Here, nothing special. Just 1 page. Normal, yes? Nothing. No any printer or special thing, or not hole under stage that someone can change it. I want you come here, please. Okay. You will help me. Or you come this side, it's more better, because as usual I write in Arabic. This time change, okay, from here. As I predict, from 2 books and million of words, you will select, what you select? Aşk. You will select the word aşk. And you will choose from 52 cards. You just select 1 card from 52 cards. Just what's your card? 10 of hearts. Maybe someone thinks that it's possible to change the paper. It's normal, yes? I can change it. You have a deck of cards in your pocket. Can you take it out? Can you look at the back of the cards? Look back of the cards. What's it? Can you show everybody? It's on, yes, it's on cards. 10 of hearts. And from 50 animals, you just select 1 animal. You will choose the cat. Thank you very much. Good. You choose the cat. No? How no? You choose the cat. Lion. Lion is a cat. No? But little bit big. Why you choose cat? Maybe you have cat at your home. You don't have. You like cats? From far. Why you select cat so? No. So, sometimes I can do wrong, but it's not so much wrong because it's a big cat, lion. So, go to my Instagram page, Aref Gafuri, and look at the last post and my last story. Go to the page. Do you have phone with yourself? No, I make it vanish because. Do you have Instagram? Go to the Aref Gafuri page and look at the last post. What you select is lion. My last post and my last story, my last post I think maybe 3 months ago, it's a lion, last post. And my last story 3 hours ago, it's a lion. Thank you very much. I hope you like it. Take a plus one. Stand still for it. I'm so happy to see you here. Our show, we come to the end, and I hope you like it. See you again.
Yes, beautiful INFLOW family and friends. I'd like to thank you again. Gratitude is the attitude. I'm so glad we could all come together, learn from each other, work together, and hopefully influence the world and have a better space and place to live in all together. I'll see you guys outside, and a reminder, tonight we're going to have the award ceremony. Everyone look fresh and fly and fitted. We're going to have a nice little red carpet action, and then the after party at Ulus 29. Again, we love you. INFLOW, outflow, in and around in your mind. Yeah, in your hearts and in your souls. Get at ya. Boop, boop, boop, boop, boop. Can I get it one time? Hey, Baba. Baba. Oh, shit. We loud. You, Baba. Big Baba in the house. Hey, hey. Big Baba getting loud. Hey, hey. Big Baba on the ground. Hey, hey. Big Baba wanna party. That's ever. I saw your face. Like looking like, oh my God, he levitated in backward arch. In the backward bend, how you doing that? Good vibe, friends. Good vibe, fam. Come up here and take some pics if you want, because they're going to shut this place down. You want to get this. You want to get